Welcome to Simply Explained English, the podcast where we make learning English fun and easy. I'm Lisa, and my co-host Eric, and we will be your guides on this language adventure.
Hi everyone. In each episode, we break down common English phrases and words, share example dialogues, and have friendly chats to help you improve your English.
So grab a cup of tea, relax, and let's get chatting. Okay, what are the words today, Eric?
Yes, the first word today is tough. Then we will continue with brilliant and to consider, then to increase. The final one is to show up.
Okay, let's proceed with the first word, Eric.
The first word is tough.
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 Tough is an interesting word. It's an adjective that means very hard or difficult. It can also describe someone who is very strong and can handle difficult situations.
That's right, Lisa. And when you say a person is tough, it means they are strong and not easily hurt by words or actions, physically or emotionally.
For example, the math test was really tough, but I studied a lot. Another example is, my grandfather is the toughest person I know. He's been through a lot.
Now let's make a scenario with two characters, Mark and Alex, who are part of a football team.
Today's training was tough, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really tough. My muscles are sore, but it feels good to push ourselves like this.
I agree. It makes us tougher and better players. Coach says that tough training prepares us for tough games.
That's right. We are improving as a result of this hard work.
In this dialogue, Mark and Alex talk about how their training is tough, but it's making them stronger and better at football.
They are very clever and see the positive side of hard tasks. They know it's making them stronger.
Lisa, have you ever faced a tough situation that made you stronger?
Yes, Eric. Once I had a really tough project at school. It was hard, but I finished it and it taught me how to overcome tough situations. How about you, Eric?
I've had similar experiences, Lisa. Learning a new language was tough for me, but it taught me to continue and open new doors.
That's inspiring, Eric. So tough situations can really help us grow and improve.
Absolutely, Lisa. It's important to remember that being tough doesn't mean you never feel upset or hurt. It means you keep going even if you feel bad or stressed.
True words, Eric. Well, friends, we hope this explanation has helped you understand the word tough and how facing tough situations can actually be a good thing. Okay, Eric, let's proceed with the next word.
The next word is brilliant.
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 That's a positive word, isn't it?
Absolutely. For example, she had a brilliant idea that solved the problem. And the second, the sun was brilliant and shining in the clear blue sky.
Those sentences really show how brilliant is used. Now let's have an example dialogue. Tom and Sarah are at a science fair.
Sarah, look at this invention. It's brilliant.
It really is brilliant. The design is so clever and practical.
I know, right? The person who made it must be brilliant.
Definitely. It's one of the most brilliant things I've seen today.
In this dialogue, Tom and Sarah use brilliant to describe a smart invention at the science fair.
It's great to recognize brilliant work. Lisa, have you ever met someone who you thought was brilliant?
Yes, I had a brilliant teacher. She knew so much and taught us in fun ways.
I see. Now let's discuss the word a bit more. Lisa, what's something you find brilliant?
Well, I think nature is brilliant. Like when you see a sunset, it's so beautiful.
That's a great example. Sunsets are indeed brilliant.
What about you, Eric?
I find innovative technology brilliant. For example, smartphones have changed how we communicate.
Oh, definitely. Smartphones are brilliant inventions. They've made our lives so much easier.
Absolutely. So it seems brilliant can describe different things that are exceptionally good or impressive.
Right. And it's a word we can use in many situations, like talking about a movie, nature, or technology.
Exactly. It's one of those versatile words that can express admiration or excitement.
Well, that was a brilliant discussion about the word brilliant, Eric.
Indeed it was, Lisa. I hope our listeners found it helpful too.
Okay, let's move on to the next word.
The next word is to consider.
To consider.
To consider. It's a verb. That means to think about something carefully before making a decision.
Exactly, Eric. Can you give us 2 examples using to consider?
Of course. Here's the first one. Before buying a new car, it's important to consider all the options. And the second one, Alice considered moving to France for her studies.
Great examples, Eric. Now, let's have a short dialogue using the word to consider. Imagine a conversation between 2 friends deciding on a movie.
What movie should we watch tonight?
Let's consider the new action movie everyone is talking about.
That sounds good, but we should also consider the comedy that just came out. It has great reviews.
True, we need to consider what we're in the mood for, action or comedy.
That dialogue shows how to consider is used in making decisions.
Yes, it does, Eric. When making decisions, what do you think is important to consider when choosing a movie?
I think it's important to consider who you're watching it with. Some movies are better with friends, and others with family.
That's a good point. It's also important to consider the movie's length. If it's late, maybe a shorter movie is better.
Right. Now, Lisa, have you recently had to consider something important?
Yes, I considered taking a cooking class. I love cooking and wanted to learn more techniques. But there were some different types of cooking classes. I had to consider all of them before choosing one.
That sounds like a fun thing to consider. Learning something new is always exciting.
Definitely. And just like we consider our choices, our listeners can practice using the word to consider in their decisions this week.
That's a brilliant idea, Lisa. Remember, everyone, to consider your options and think carefully before you decide.
Okay, I think we have explained that the word consider is quite enough. Let's move on to our next word. What's the next word, Eric?
So, everyone, the next word we're talking about is to increase.
To increase.
To increase.
Great choice, Eric. To increase means to become larger or greater in size, number, or amount.
Right, Lisa. Here are 2 sentences. My sister decided to increase the number of plants in her garden. And the company wants to increase its sales this year.
Those were good examples, Eric. Now, let's move to an example dialogue. Imagine 2 friends, Sarah and Tom, talking about their lemonade stand.
Last Saturday, we sold only 50 cups of lemonade. I think we need to increase our sales.
I agree. Maybe, if we increase our signs around the neighborhood, more people will come.
That's a good idea. Offering a small discount on every second cup might also increase sales.
Let's try that this weekend and see if our sales increase.
That was a useful dialogue, Eric. Sarah and Tom are really working hard to increase their lemonade stand sales.
Yes, they are. Lisa, have you ever tried increasing something like they did?
Yes, I tried to increase my reading time last year. I started with 20 minutes a day and increased it to 1 hour. After a while, I reached 1 hour. What about you, Eric?
I tried to increase the number of days I exercise. I wanted to increase it from 2 days a week to 4 days. It was hard, but I did it.
That's impressive, Eric. It shows that a little effort can really increase our abilities or improve situations.
Exactly. Increasing something usually takes time and effort, but it's often worth it.
Totally agree. And that brings us to the end of the word to increase. Remember, it means to make something larger or greater in size, number, or amount. Let's move on to our last word. Eric, please tell us what the next word is.
Our last word today is to show up.
To show up.
To show up. It's a phrasal verb, Lisa. It means to arrive somewhere to join others, but it can also mean to become visible suddenly.
That's an interesting one. It's a phrase that we use a lot in English. Showing up means a few different things, right?
Yeah, it's a versatile word. First of all, it can mean to arrive or appear at a place. So if you're expected at an event or a party, you need to show up. And the second example, the sun finally showed up after 3 days of rain.
That's right. Or my friend was organizing a surprise birthday party for her mom. She told me to be at the restaurant at 6 p.m. sharp, so I showed up there on time.
Nice. Showing up is an essential part of many everyday situations. Now, let's listen to a sample dialogue. Let's say it's about two co-workers, Mike and Jenna, discussing a work meeting.
Are you going to show up for the meeting tomorrow?
Yes, of course. It's important. Last time, not many people showed up, and it was noticed.
Mike, that's true. I'll make sure to show up early and prepare.
That's a good idea. I think more people will show up this time because the boss mentioned it in the email.
That dialogue shows how important it is to show up, especially at work.
Right. Hey Lisa, have you ever forgotten to show up somewhere?
Yes, once I forgot to show up for a friend's dinner. I felt so bad. I had to apologize and explain it was an accident. What about you, Eric?
I've been lucky so far. I usually set reminders so I don't forget to show up where I'm needed. But it's easy to forget sometimes.
True. Reminders help a lot. Not showing up can cause misunderstandings or disappoint others.
Definitely. It's all about showing respect and being responsible.
Well said, Eric. Remember, it means to arrive somewhere or to appear. It's important in many aspects of life.
Okay, that's all for today's episode of Simply Explained English. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you found our explanations helpful.
Remember to join us next time as we break down more English words and phrases in a simple, easy-to-understand way.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Have a great day, and keep practicing your English. Bye now.
Bye-bye.